Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's live conversation with one of our speakers from the Women Thrive Summit. Today, we're talking about how to overcome burnout and claim back the joys of life. And I'm joined by Karyn from Australia. Hi, Karyn. How are you today?
Hi, Ramondra. I'm so excited to be here and have a chat and very excited about the whole process.
Hi, Karyn. How are you today?
I'm fabulous. Thanks so much. I'm so pleased to be here and, see what we can do talking to people to actually see if they can connect and find out how to get some help.
Yes, of course. And I believe this is such an important topic. And just behind the scenes, we were talking about why women really feel the burnout when we are trying to work too hard. And we, as women, especially, wear so many hats in our lives. And sometimes we feel like we've got to work so hard to achieve something. So today, we're going to take a little bit of pressure off and we talk about how to actually claim back the joys of life, right?
Yes,
So, my
definitely.
my expert today is Karyn who from Goodness Meals Alternative who is a multi-award winning author, speaker, and empowerment expert specializing in loss and trauma. So Karyn is a co-author of 10-time multi-award winning book, Eating Secrets, to help others who struggle with numbing out by emotional eating and the use of food to soothe themselves. So Karyn helps women to rediscover themselves and the joy in life by helping them accept that they are worthy of achieving anything their heart desires. Karyn, tell me a little bit more. Why is this an important topic and what has been your experience of working with people across the world?
Yeah, I mean, for women especially, we attach so much emotion to things and we are always trying to prove, I think, that we are trying to prove that we are, worthy and that we can do all these things. So these emotions that we attach to things from our past cause us to react in a certain way. And when we do that, we are constantly trying to please other people, prove to ourselves, prove to other people, and then we eventually burn out because we are just working so hard, we're stressed out, and we're absolutely crazy. And
Yeah.
that just doesn't serve us being in that state. Yet women have these minds that go 100 miles an hour, always overthinking. And we're always, I don't know about you, but I wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, sometimes going, oh, did I do this? Did I do that? And that overthinking causes us to burn out. So it's really important that we take a step back and actually listen to what's going on and understand that the reactions that we have are not serving us. And they're usually to do with something that's happened in the past. We're triggered by something here and we react in a certain way and we think it's that trigger. We think it's our husband. We think it's our boss. We think it's that client that's is doing the wrong thing. But we've put a meaning to that thing and then we've reacted in a certain way and then that has a flow on effect of how our life goes because of that. So we need to, go underneath the hood and
Yeah.
see what's going on.
Yeah. And what has been your own personal experience with that? I know you have had quite a few health and other challenges along the way that actually helped you navigate all of this terrain of
Mm,
more self-care and making sure that you don't burn out.
yeah. I think for me, it was at the age, like in my mid, like late 20s, 30, I kind of woke up thinking there's something wrong with me. I just don't feel engaged. Like I had a great job. I was, working as an accountant, had a good career. I had a great partner. I kind of blamed a little bit about not having kids. I've got no purpose. What's going on? And then I fell into the self-development world, looking because
Yeah.
I was looking for something. And I was also looking, I wasn't happy with myself, with my health. I was binge eating at that time. Chocolate was my favorite food. And so I went searching for a coach. I got, fell into the self-development world doing a course to help me. And then as I got help, I then decided, wow, this is amazing. Just having those flip switches inside my brain helped me then sort of change everything. And then I then found my purpose in helping others. And through that process, I learned that what I'd lived through in my past was a lot of loss, a lot of trauma due to, my father died when I was 10, and, mum, did the best she could. And then I kind of grew up pretty fast, I think, at the age of 10. Then mum remarried a lovely man, and then he died in his sleep. So at the age of 15, mum was dealing with a lot of trauma, but a lot of loss. And so she moved away to the country. So I lived alone in Sydney, and I thought it was the best because 15, I had freedom. I was going out drinking and smoking and living the life. But what I didn't realize was the little girl inside of me is going, what's wrong with me? Why is everybody leaving me? Why am I being left alone? Why am I having to fend for myself?
Yeah.
So as I've got older and got into the self-development world, I realize now the patterns of how I reacted to things was to do with that little girl crying inside. And a lot of people don't realize that the things that have happened in the past, the emotions they've attached to it, is what actually causes us to carry and react in a certain way. So for me, of course, it was binge eating. I used to still eat chocolate. And even recently, I had cancer, and they had to take out neck muscles and all that sort of stuff. And even knowing what I know now, I still turn to chocolate. So we have habits that we can go back to. And it's a matter of actually looking at what's the reason. Like we have a trigger, and we basically internalize that and react in a certain way. And then we external it by how we act out with people. And then how does that affect us? But we go on this cycle and we blame the trigger. So I could blame cancer. But cancer isn't the thing. It's how I reacted to the cancer and the emotion I attached to it that then going back to old habits. So it is very much looking underneath that hood and seeing what's going on. Think of a tree. Like a tree, you've got your branches up the top and there's everything in your life. But underneath all those roots of all those things that have happened to us, that will sort of spout up and actually affect that branch on the tree. And that's what happens with us.
Yeah. And it just so relevant right now as well for people go through trauma, which trauma sometimes, as you say, just manifests in different ways. And sometimes you might not be aware. And that's what I've seen also with women just having to work so hard. So what is this phenomenon that women wanting to work so hard and driving themselves into burnout?
It can be like, you think about being at school and being told you didn't do that right. So, or even just your brother, picking on you about something. So these things don't even have to be big ticket items that actually cause you to react in a certain way. But if you've been told at school that you're not very smart, as we get older, we're going to try to prove that wrong. And we're going to try until we can actually flip that belief that we are smart enough, then we're going to keep on constantly going around the cycle trying to prove it. And if we don't believe it, no matter how much we try to prove it, we're never going to believe it. And we're just going to get burnt out and get into a cycle of overthinking, overdoing, trying to prove to ourselves, to others, that we are good enough, smart enough, etc. So you need to sit back and relax and actually look at why we actually react in a certain way. What is the emotion behind things? Not just look about how this happened and I reacted this way, but why did I react that way? And if we get out of blame mode, because quite often it's very easy to blame other people. It's your fault that I yelled because you did this. Well, no, the reason why we yelled is because that thing that happened caused me to react in this way because of something that happened to me in the past. And everything we do is about keeping us safe. We have learnt. So for me, I learnt that chocolate was my savior. Like, it kept me safe. If I was feeling upset, I would turn to chocolate. But it can be anything. It can be, some people over exercise. Some people, will give 100% to work and not give anything to themselves. They'll be always pleasing other people because they feel they've got to do that, but they don't give back to themselves. They don't do the self-care. They don't do the things that we need to make us feel good about ourselves. And we never stop and listen to what's going on because we're too busy trying to on that that wheel of the mouse wheel, trying to sort of keep up and catch up. So yeah, it's very much
It's the inner work, isn't it? It starts
yeah,
from, I always say to people, it really starts from outside. It doesn't
yeah,
matter, what's a lot of the times, especially when we're struggling with trauma or not feeling good enough, we're looking for things outside to fulfill us. As you
mm,
mentioned, food, chocolate,
yeah,
smoking, drinking, or even social media or
yeah.
overworking. It's all those things. We're looking for approval from the outside, but what
All
clearly,
comes from within.
you're saying this, it starts
Mm,
from you, it starts from within, and starting to feel worthy of the greatness and the
mm.
success. And you don't need to ask for approvals, right? That's
No, we
something
don't. We
many
have
of
to
us.
prove it ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting that we go looking for ways to fix things with external things. Like, we might think, I'll go learn this, I'll get smarter, I'll do all these things. I remember at the age of 15, I left school and I went and did uni at the age of 30, and I realized I was smart. So it was me realizing it from the inside. I have to actually recognize that. Whereas everybody else told me, you're smart, you're intelligent, but I didn't believe it. I had to believe it. So we have to actually get all those learnings from within ourselves, not from anyone else. People can tell you 100 times you're beautiful, but guess what? If you don't believe it yourself, you're always going to go, no way.
Hi, good morning, Tiffany. Good to see you. Let us know where in the world you're joining us from on today's live. And it's just great to see people joining from all around the world. So today I was speaking to Karyn in which part of Australia you're in, by the way?
Sydney, and I'm the north side. So
Yeah,
up near the bush, which is quite nice.
beautiful. I've always dreamt of, when I was young, I always dreamt of going to Sydney. It's just like, oh my God, like that's my dream destination.
You
And
have to
speaking on
come.
this, yeah, I'd love to. And I've seen there's a lot of women events happening there. So it's just such a beautiful space.
Yeah.
As we're speaking, it brings back some of my own memories because I was an immigrant when I first started in the UK. So I'm originally from Lithuania, and because I didn't speak English, and I was dropped in the middle of like end of the high school. I didn't speak English, and I had to complete my English exams, and I failed it once. I failed it twice. I passed the third time preparing myself for university. But my whole life, not that anybody told me that you're not good enough, your English is not good enough, but I was telling myself that I'm not good at English.
Mm.
So I remember when it came to my professional career, I would spend hours drafting emails and putting, just really being careful about how I write my emails. And I
Yeah.
remember my colleague said, Ray, could you write this email for me? Because you're really good with emails. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, your emails are like really on point. I'm like, okay. I always thought I'm not very good at English. But this is where we try to overcompensate for the
Yeah.
shortcomings that we perceive of ourselves. And this is, I guess, what we're talking about, like
Mm.
that burnout, especially in the professional sense. We're trying to overcompensate. And this is where the problem really starts, where we have to go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, it's the stories we tell ourselves, and we get stuck in that loop of those stories, and it can be those stories don't even I've said don't have to come from like a big trauma. It can be from those little things like I failed the English, and through my cancer journey with the radiation, they told me that the burn would get worse even after we finished the radiation. And I was buying into that story. And then I thought, I've got all this development stuff. I know what to do. So I stopped buying into that story and started doing the inner work and believing that this was not going to get worse. And it was amazing. The nurses are going, what have you been doing? It doesn't look as bad. And it's like, I stopped buying into your BS story that it was going to get worse. So those stories that we tell ourselves, we believe them and we make them true. It's the law of attraction talks about, the more we put passion and emotion into something, the more we'll make it happen. Well, that's about the bad stuff as well, too. The more emotion we put to it. And that's why for women, we attach more emotion to everything we do. So when we have a story or have a belief and we have this emotion, we have this feeling in our body about it, then that's what we create. And we are creators. Women are creators. We just need to trust our intuition, trust our gut. And if we have a belief that doesn't serve us, look within and actually find the answers to flip that, to get a new perspective on how can we shift that to be something that will serve us.
Yeah. I love that sort of surrounding ourselves with people who help us believe. And Tiffany said, it always feels good to hear someone cheerleading you in the area you're not super confident in. She's people's cheerleader, Tiffany. Great to see you. You see, here's the thing, a lot of times we self-sabotage and tell ourselves we're not good enough. But actually, when you surround yourself and you enter a community or you find a safe space who accepts you and women who understand you and are willing to cheerlead you, suddenly realize, like what I've seen through the events that we do, that we realize we all have the same struggles.
Yes.
We all have some limiting beliefs. We all still have those imposter syndrome feelings, no matter how brilliant and gorgeous, and I mean gorgeous as in inside out person you are. And we just overthink it, right? And we say, well, I'm not good enough. But when I found through, let's say, the events that we do, that when we surround ourselves with women who are open-minded and supportive, you start to feel like you're not alone. You're not alone in your struggles. And certainly you feel so uplifted when you have other cheerleaders around you.
Yeah, definitely. Understanding that everything that you're feeling is not just you doing it on your own. Does make it so much easier. You hear other people's story and you go, she's so stunning or beautiful and smart, and she believes the same things I believe about myself. Wow. Like then you start you can actually do a little shift in your mindset because of that.
Yeah, just see what's possible. And honestly, it's more possible for us than we believe. So, Karyn, I'm excited because we're just on the cusp of our amazing annual Women Empowerment event, we've been preparing for this for months. And you are one of our VIP speakers. First of all, what has been your experience kind of entering this Women Thrive community? And now we're nearly here at the summit.
The community is absolutely amazing. We're so all supporting each other throughout the process, giving each other tips, and just helping. If we've got a question, especially you and your team, we just reach out and then you're on it straight away. But just the community to boost each other up. If someone's feeling down, we just write in the group and someone jumps in and helps out. So to have that with a group of women supporting you rather than, quite often we feel that other women are there in competition with us. There's none of that competition feeling, which is amazing. To know that we're there to support each other and just boost each other up is absolutely amazing. And your processes that you have set up are just 100%. So professional.
I appreciate it. I don't know. I just love what we do, and I want to make sure our speakers as well as our attendees really make the most out of the experience because it's your time. So, Karyn, you have a session coming up at the Women Thrive Summit next week, which we would love for people to attend. This. What is your session, and why should people attend it?
So my session is like 22nd of March. It's a Wednesday at 9 p.m. Sydney time, 10 a.m. GMT time. And it's how to reignite your passion and achieve more without burning out. So
Mhm.
to attend my session, you're actually going to understand why it is that we burn out, what it is that's causing those problems. Well, we might even go through a process where we get you to, if you're willing to do something online with me, we'll go through some steps and get you to work out how to identify some of those tricks and, some of the emotions that are going on, and understand why, as a woman, we need a different process, a different perspective than a lot of things that are out there, because a lot of things are designed by men, and men's brains and women's brains are totally different. And we need different perspectives, and we need a thing that actually works with our brain, our overthinking brain. Have you ever seen a man sit there quietly in their little, we call it their nothing box? They're sitting there and you go, what's going on? And they're going, oh, I'm not thinking about anything, nothing. You go, you can't be thinking about nothing. They really are thinking about nothing. They've got their little nothing box. They open up their thing and they just think about that one thing and then they put that back. Whereas our brains are 100 miles an hour. Everything's connected. Your wife, you're connected to your kids. You're connected to your connections to your work, to everything that's going on, to your meals. Everything is 100 miles. So we need something to actually calm our mind down, as opposed to very linear of how a guy thinks. So
Yeah.
understanding that is huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. You just literally said it. You said it right there. It's like, you know, I don't know, my brain has a capacity for like a million things at the same time. And when I speak to my partner at the end of the night, he would be like, oh, and I would say, I feel so excited, right? There's so many amazing things happening. And he was like, well, just park up your excitement and pick it up again in the morning so you can switch off and go to bed.
Doesn't happen.
I was like, I'm glad you're able to do that. So you can just switch off your brain on demand. But my brain, no, I don't have that.
No. And it's funny, we get so mad with them when we actually say, what are you thinking about? And they go, nothing. You go, you can't be thinking about nothing. And
I'm like,
then we react to that, and then we get triggered. So there's a vicious cycle there.
it's phenomenal. I mean, and this is where, we're actually speaking on some of these topics during the summit on women leadership, right? We're talking about why women are so good at our roles in what we do, because our capacity, not only we have that emotional intelligence and ability
Mm.
to have empathy, which is unique to women more so than, of course, men. I'm not saying men are not empathetic, but
Yeah.
women have that trait by nature, because we are women, we are nurturers, we're mothers, and we
Mm.
have that naturally. And that, as much as leadership might, let's say, we're just picking up as an example, as leadership, it seems like a masculine and a strong thing. Strength comes in so many different ways.
Mm.
And sometimes the empathy and the ability to hold so many different conflicting ideas and have that capacity within ourselves as women are just so, so powerful.
Mm.
And that's why we're so good at
But
it.
we do have to work within us as women as well. We actually have a cycle. So we have to work within that cycle too. So if we try to, with men, they're often told, you've got to be consistent. So if we try to be consistent daily or weekly, we might burn out, because there's times in our month where we need to sit back and sit on the couch and eat chocolate. But, but then there's a time in that month where we can be 100% on and have all the balls up in the air and be juggling them so well. But if we try to be consistent on a weekly basis, we might burn out. So there's some other things we need to think out, that of us as women, we need to do things differently. But we are the most powerful superwomen we can be if we understand all that.
I love it. I think we could be here all day, but we go. I know, first of all, it's really late in Australia. And, I've seen Tiffany was joining from Florida, which is super early in the morning for her. And I'm like
Oh,
right
wow.
around lunchtime, which is siesta time in Spain, which people actually go to sleep at siesta time, all right? Like, we take time off. Not me, because I love my work. So. But for those of you watching this, whether you're watching this live or replay, there is details that you can see on the screen. And this is our Women Thrive Global Women Empowerment event. This is an event we prepare for 6 months. This year specifically, we have 50 plus amazing, amazing women from all around the world. As you meet Karyn today from Australia, I'm from Europe. We have women from United States, Canada, Caribbean, other parts of the world. And and I say this is a women empowerment event because this is our opportunity as women to come together. It's Women's History Month, and we take it serious to celebrate women, and not only women who have come before us, but also us right now in this moment where we can make our contribution. So I invite you to save your free spot, and we just want you to attend this event, be part of it, because this could be the beginning of your transformation. And yesterday we had a call with our speakers, and I said, ladies, you realize that you are here perfectly timed. You are here on purpose. And I know how women are. Like, we want to compare ourselves to each other. And I said, don't come. I know we've got 50 amazing speakers. Some of them are powerhouse women, right? Achieved. And I said to them, I said, look, don't compare yourself, because you are the most qualified person to be here right now in this room speaking on your topic, and you were chosen here for a reason. So for those wanting to attend the event, I guarantee you there are women on this stage that you will get to meet. And it's a virtual stage, so you can join from anywhere in the world. It's a free event. We've got 50 plus more speakers, and you get to really start to explore things like purpose, confidence, overcoming limiting beliefs, talking about business, visibility, marketing, finance, healing, trauma. There's so many things we're covering, and you can pick and choose which experiences that you want to have. And I guarantee you that at the end of the summit, you will be surprised by the transformation that happens from within. And I've seen women that come to our stage or to our events to watch it, and they end up being speakers on the next summit because they feel so ignited internally by the women sharing stories. So this is a safe, inviting, nurturing community for you to be part of. Karyn, any last words before we finish today?
I am so excited to actually join in next week, and people who jump on. I'm a big believer that when you actually join in with something, you will get, even if you get to see some of the speakers, see all of them, you're meant to see the person that you see. You'll get something. You're there to see that particular person. So I believe that you're crazy not to jump on and come to the event, because it's going to be so much fun.
I truly believe so. And for women who get to watch this right now live, let's say, or for women who may watch this on replay, maybe there was just one thing that you heard today that sparks your inspiration and sets you up on your day, or opens your mind to something new. And that's the magic. And you're meant to catch this here right now and hear this conversation. Whether you resonate with Karyn's story or not, it doesn't matter. In us women coming together and rising together and having these powerful, open and honest conversations, so much magic happens. So I want to thank you for being here on this live with us. Karyn, if someone feels inspired to connect with you, where could I do that?
Well, they can follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok. Transform with Karyn is my name. And if you're interested in understanding some of the things that are holding you back, some of the emotions, you can jump on and do a free quiz I've got, a no regrets quiz, and you can get that on my website, goodnessmealternative.com.au. And I think you're going to put the links underneath for that. So yeah, and jump on and send me a message if something resonated with you. I would love if you want to have a chat, reach out. Happy to talk with anyone who is struggling.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've just posted some links to connect with Karyn, to grab her free quiz, to connect with her on Instagram, and of course, just be part of the community. I think this is the beginning of a transformation. We're starting the event on 20th of March, which is Monday, and I believe Monday is also spring equinox. And how magically aligned is this? Because I believe that spring equinox is like the new cycle, the beginning of
Mm,
something new and exciting. So maybe that will be just an opportunity for you to start something new, or just be uplifted, be motivated, and surround yourself with other powerhouse women and start your inspirational journey.
exactly. Love it.
Karyn, thank you so much. I'll let you go. I know it's really late there out in
No problem.
Australia. We'll be catching up tomorrow for a podcast
Yes.
recording. So, for those of you watching today, thank you so much. My name is Raimonda. I'm the founder of Women Thrive Media. So, we host global women empowerment events. We have a empowerment magazine called Women Thrive, which we publish every month, and we also ship it now globally. So do make sure you connect, you get to know the community. We have a community of over 600,000 females in business owners, entrepreneurs, women who starting out in their own personal development journey. So this is an opportunity for you to just connect, and we don't even ask you to pay for anything. You can just connect, consume some of our content, attend our events, and be part of the community. Because when one woman rises, we all rise. And this is our goal, to help women rise and thrive in business and life. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karyn. I look forward to seeing you very soon. Thank you all for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care for now.
See ya.